week's video was pretty straightforward and simple. I think this week's will be the same. I don't really feel like, these videos aren't where I want my editing effort to go to. It's nice. I mean, I'll cut where I need to and everything, but I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. Just plain Jane, authentic, and you're just gonna see what you see. And on that note, today is Monday, so got upper body again today. Nothing really changed from last week, and considering my weight, I don't really feel like much is going to change. It's not that I'm struggling to lose weight. I think that what's occurring is something called body recomp. I've talked about it a little bit before. I'm going to talk about it again. Long story short, it's when you lose fat and gain muscle simultaneously. It's usually a pretty difficult thing to make happen. But with the right ingredients, literally with the right ingredients, you can affect such a change. And what it requires, like if I were to sum it up into 3 main points, it's going to be nutrition, and underneath that 1 point are going to be a couple: water, protein, and fiber. Obviously, resulting in some sort of calorie deficit that's measured and something that you figured out. But those are like the things: water, protein, fiber. You get those things in and you stick within the calorie deficit and you're getting your nutrients, then I think you're going to do just swell. But the big thing out of those it's going to be the protein, and that's the one thing. If you get, right now I'm trying to do 1 pound or 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight. So I want to be 180 at some point in my life. So I'm eating 180 grams of protein, which, by the way, is far more than the amount of protein I was eating when I wasn't dieting. So it's having an interesting effect. That's one reason why I want to say I'm body recomping. And then, 2, you want to make sure that you're strength training. You can obviously do weightlifting. I like to do calisthenics, obviously, and considering my weight, it's pretty comparable to weighted calisthenics, at least until I drop below 230, 220, and I kind of have this inverse relationship occur where my strength is outclassing my body weight. Basically, you master your body weight. Once you do so, you want to start adding weight for that interest. So, weight training. Not much to it. And then 3, sleep. That's something I've been trying to work on. Sleep is where all the magic occurs, and if you can dial that in, then you're winning. But I suck at that. I really suck at getting my sleep in. I honestly, if I look back through the last few years, I've really struggled. Just my stress level. I have a lot of stress on me, just all the time. And I'm trying to find different ways to navigate through that, but it's not easy. It's not going to be easy for everyone. So, take from that what you will. And those are kind of the 3 things. That's what tells me. And then finally, a little bonus here. This is where I actually think body recomp is happening. My body is changing. The way it looks and the way it feels is changing. My waistline is getting smaller. And the biggest change that I've seen noticeably lately is the fat that's on my legs. My legs have had a pretty round appearance up until about a week and a half ago, where I started noticing actual contours of the muscle. That indicates to me that I am losing that. I also see it in my arms and my hands, where the veins are more pronounced. You can see the blue of the veins a lot better. You're not going to see arteries, but you're going to see the veins. And then, just the contours of the body start to improve. But when the scale doesn't go down proportionally to that, that's when you're like, okay, my body is changing. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. So what's actually occurring? Am I just not losing weight? Am I failing the weight loss? No, your body is recomping. Now that will come to an end. There will come a point where either my muscle increases so the beginner gains are going to go away, and the calorie deficit is really going to kick into effect on the scale, showing on the scale, where it's just going to start dropping pounds of fat. I'm not just going to infinitely adjust like so. It's not going to, it's, boy, I wish it were. It'd be cool to just replace all this weight with muscle, but that's not what's going to happen. You can just look at any bodybuilder. There is no bodybuilder with, that just goes from no muscle to a bunch of muscle and no fat. Like, that's why bodybuilding is a sport that takes years and years and years and years and years to do, because there is a point. There's kind of this point where the beginner gains end. And that's what I am actually eager for. I want those to end so that I end up getting to a point where it's not weight loss, but cutting. And I think it's important to distinguish the two. Anyway, I digress. Let's go ahead and get to the fit lot and get warmed up, and I'll show you Monday's workout. Well, that was the first half, and we'll be moving on to inverted rows and decline push-ups. Considering how, the first half of the workout went, I'm not expecting much for the second half. Kind of woke up this day just feeling quite off. Can't really pin it though. Water, whether it's a lack of water, I don't think it was a lack of sleep, and maybe not enough of my macros, but I'm not feeling it today. And I could really tell that in the pull-ups. The dips weren't so bad, but I'm feeling pretty worn out in my elbows from the dips, so ideally the rows will do much better, and then I think I'm going to stick to the same level here on the push-ups. Not going to go up a level or anything. I think the goal is that I'm going to hit 15, then reset to the next decline position, and then go up to 15, and then reset to the highest decline position, the one I'm sitting on right now, and then go up to 15. And that will be my progression for push-ups, and then after that, the goal will be pikes until I'm able to get my feet up, I think, on the ladder, and we'll do basically what's equivalent to an incline bench, but it's going to be basically a pike push-up, full body pike push-up, rather than like a bent over pike push-up. And then that will help build the top of my chest, and we'll have to maybe go back and forth where perhaps I do, maybe when I move up to 4 sets per exercise, I do 2 regular push-ups just for the bottom half of my chest and my triceps and my shoulders, my front delts, and then the pike push-ups for the rest of it, and that's for the upper chest and the rear the upper and rear delts, as well as the triceps and a little bit of the back and the traps. So yeah, nothing much else to say on that. Quick rest and set us up for rows and push-ups. So I think I may have pulled something in my hand doing the pull-ups. Just holding on to the bars is difficult, more than difficult, honestly. So I'm not even going to attempt a dead hang today. We'll just move on to Wednesday leg day, which should be exciting. Using the bands for resistance instead of just doing body weight. So that should be fun. So let's get it going. See you on Wednesday. Alright, what is going on? It is Wednesday. It is way too fucking hot. And I'm fully clothed because I still don't want to get bit by mosquitoes. And I am both ready and excited and fed up. Fed up with the heat. My favorite weather pattern for summer in Alaska is rain, actually. Summer rains are the best. It's nice and cool. The rain is a nice soft pitter-patter normally, and it's perfect usually. The heat, though, is humid up here, which is awkward to say for those of you who don't know how Alaska works, but South Alaska is really very humid. Anywhere near the coast is going to be. So, anyway, I have something a little bit special today. I wanted to use bands to increase my resistance for legs, for leg day, and I was kind of debating on how to do that, and I tried a few variations at home. It didn't really feel that great, the way it was working, and what I really wanted was a bar. Ideally, what I would want is a squat rack with weights. I mean, again, the movement is no different than a body weight squat. It's just you hold a fucking bar on your shoulder, on your traps, and go down. Ideally with heavy weight, but it's not. You can't bring a whole squat rack with you to the park, right? But you can bring bands, and if you can find one, you can bring a light metal rod or bar or something. In my case, I found some metal pipe in the recycling at work that will seem to work quite well. I haven't tested it yet in terms of how I want to use it, so we'll see if I can actually get it to work the way I want it to. It might be a little bit of experimentation and some success and failure, so that should be fun. But I am excited. It will allow me to at least factor in some real resistance into my squats without having to use explosive movements like jumping or jumping. Really, I cannot think of any other way to do a bodyweight squat that gives you more stimulus. So yeah, bands are the way I'm gonna go with this. We're gonna start with the middle green band, and then see if I can work my way up to the red band, and see how that feels. And then with the other things that I've been doing, it's gonna be a brutal leg day. It's also hot. I feel pretty good. I fed well. I think I hydrated relatively okay. So I'm fairly excited to get this workout in and get it going. I'm not going to talk all the way to the park this time. I just want to get there, get warmed up, and get going. So I will see you for bodyweight squats with my new setup. Alright, so I'm all warmed up, and as you can see, I have the metal bar here with actually the blue band. I had a bit of foresight and thought, maybe I should just start from the easiest band, and I gave it a try for 1-2 reps, and it works, but the amount of tension on the blue band, just from the amount of stretch that it has, gives me worry for when I get to the green and the red bands, being that I'm not sure if they're going to be able to take that much stretch without damage. So I'm going to purchase another set of bands and set it up like that, and probably just use the heavier bands, as that should provide enough stimulation to get the job done. Basically, you'll have one band on each leg up to the bar. But you'll see when I get this going, this will provide plenty of stimulation for what I'm looking for. The setup is a little bit awkward, but hey, you know, I got some really good resistance. Another way that I could do it is without the bar, just get it around my shoulders and hold it with my hands as if I'm in a weighted squat position, and go from there. But I'm gonna give the bar a try. You know, I secured it, and I want to see if it'll work. So let's give this a shot. So, and also, you know, I'll superset into calf raises as per usual. It worked. So that seemed to work really well. I'll do that 2 more times and then move on to Bulgarian split squat and Nordic curls. Not much to it. I'm pretty happy, pretty excited. Gotta say, I am over the moon with that. Over the moon. That's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. Quick rest and on to Bulgarian split squats and Nordic curls. That's it. I'm done.
Done for today?
I'm done. That was brutal.
Good stuff.
As promised, an absolute shredder of a workout. I still feel like I need to get another set of bands. I'm still worried about maxing out these bands too far. I really don't want them to break or have any sort of issues. So, but my brain has melted into my quads, hams, and calves, and my glutes, so I can't really think of anything. It was really, 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 really good. The extra resistance on the bodyweight squats allowed me to not have to do as many reps, and it pre-exhausted me really well for the Bulgarian split squats, which was where I make most of my intensity for my quads. And then, the calf raises do the calves, and then the Nordic curls do the hams and glutes and posterior, which after yesterday's core workout, the posterior chain does not really need that much more work. I can definitely feel that. I know for a fact that I'm going to be in a significant amount of pain tomorrow. So tomorrow being core mobility, as you saw last week, is really where it's going to help out. And I might even throw in some yoga just to get some good full stretches in there after I'm done with those exercises. But beyond that, with the band alterations that we made to Monday, come back Friday even stronger and go ahead and hit it. See you on Friday. Alright, what is going on? It is way too hot. It's Friday. It is Friday, and it is 82 to probably more degrees. It is 82 actually. It says it in my car. It's 82 degrees here in Anchorage, which is pretty uncommon, and which, for those of you down in the lower 48 are probably just like, oh wow, 82 is hot for you, must be nice. I get it, but it's a little bit different when you've acclimated to the temperatures here. 82 feels like 90 or even 100, so it's pretty brutal. It's also fairly humid too, so that's the case. Either way, there's a heat advisory on, and it is too risky to try and be full clothed. And considering my level of hydration, which is honestly poor at the moment, not horrible, but not where I want it to be. It was just a busy day, and considering that, I can't risk a heat injury. So I'm gonna have to just rely on the spray, and I just had to weigh getting bit by mosquitoes against a heat incident. So I decided on mosquitoes. At least I won't pass out from mosquitoes. So, I think. Anyway, nothing crazy today that's different from what Monday was. Just more of the same. Just doing the best I can on the pull-ups and the dips. I don't think there's any changes in terms of the progression on them. It's just more refining the form, trying to bang out better and better sets. So it's like I evaluate how I do by set. And it would just be cool. Honestly, it would be cool if I could finally just break past kind of like the 6 mark with pull-ups. Wow, that's a beautiful Ford. I would like to hit 6 full pull-ups with the band, just to show that I've done some sort of improvement. But I guess we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how things shake out. Yeah, I ain't got anything else, so I'm gonna go ahead and get to the fitlock, get warmed up, get sprayed down, and I'll see you for the first superset of pull-ups to dips. Alright, so because I didn't get the second second set of pull-ups recorded, I'm going to just add in a burnout of negatives and see how that feels. It's like a jump up and then hold negative. Okay, there's the week. You know, this is actually the weekly outro. Or weekly review. I'm not doing a separate desk recording for it. So, slap this all together, call her good, and I'll see you on the next week. But all in all, I would say a really solid week. I'm really excited for the lower body work. I'm really excited to see how that's going to go next week. I was absolutely shredded after Wednesday. So much so I got an exertion headache on Thursday, but I still did yesterday. I still did my core mobility and recovery workout though. I didn't do all of my circuits, but I still did at least 2, which, you know, that counts for something. And it did help my lower back feel a lot better. I mean, doing the core on Tuesday, which is the core strength, and then doing the lower body, all the squats and everything on Wednesday, that's extremely taxing on the back, especially the lower back, the hips, and the core in general. So it's going to be nice to rest, get these videos done and put out, and move on. In terms of weight, as an update, I'm at the cusp at 250, so that's just about 15 pounds off. And my next goal, I like setting 5 and 10 pound goals, is to just get down to 245, and then we'll be 20 pounds off. And then getting to 240 is actually going to be quite the milestone. That's last time when I hit 240, that's when I really started gaining momentum. I was able to ditch I was able to adjust the pull-ups to where I was doing both jump negatives and straight pull-ups, and it was like 2 to 3 straight pull-ups, and then I would go into jump negatives. But that, being able to progress to that point, that's where it's kind of like the faster you go, the more mileage you gain. It's a cumulative effect. Actually, I would say more of an exponential effect, almost. It does slow down at some point, obviously, but for beginner gains are going to be the beginner gains until I am clear into full body weight work, where I'm not using assistance, where I'm doing really crazy progressions and things like that to increase strength. And at that point, like I said before, ideally once I hit like 235, at 230, that's when I want to start reintroducing my weight back in. So I'm going to try and find ways to bring either resistance or weight to every single exercise, but the basic exercises still stay the same. We have 4 upper body exercises, I have 4 lower body exercises, and I have 8 core exercises that I'm working on for my entire body. And the idea is to expand on them, rather than just change them or progress into entirely different forms of them. That's the idea. So all in all, really solid week. It was brutal. I'm tired of the heat. I would very much like my summer rains to come back. I'm missing Mr. Moose. It would be cool to see Mr. Moose again, but we'll catch him on the flip side. You never know. You never know. Alright, I'll see you on Monday.